My name is Cindy Conley. I'm an equine sports therapist and a Foundation of Integrated Therapies instructor certified through the BC College of Equine Therapy. I would like to highlight some of the topics our students learn in the Fit 1 module. They learn range of motion techniques to address and massage and energy techniques as well. Have you ever noticed that your horse has trouble picking up a lead or maintaining a lead? Does he stop short in the front end, or is he unable to stay in the stop when he's sliding? Does he have trouble turning one way or the other? Does he have trouble going around a barrel one way or the other? Does your horse stand camped under? Does he stand camped out? Has he lost the power in his back end? Or does he switch his tail when you ride? If your horse is sore in the back end, his power to drive or start hard will be compromised. This will also be the case if he runs head high, back hollow. So these issues are very important when you're in competition, when you're barreling, when you're coming out of the box roping, or like our chuck wagon horses when they are leaving their barrels in their turns. Other things you might notice are what we call a cold back when you are first saddled, or stumbling when you are riding. An equine sports therapist helps to maintain the range of motion and flexibility and overall health of our equine athletes. We can check the range of motion and imbalances in the body by using a series of assessment techniques. Our Fit 1 class that we offer deals with many of these assessment techniques that we will be addressing today and the common issues with them. One of our assessment techniques is to observe the horse walking, watching the top of his hips at his rump to see if it looks like there is even movement. So another thing that we look at for the range of motion and the movement of the horse, and we also look to see if he's comfortable. Sometimes you'll see a horse put one leg ahead of the other to rest and then shift and put the other leg ahead. If they have trouble standing square for very long, then that's a sign as well that they're a little bit uncomfortable. We also check the range of motion and see the restriction in any muscles. If we take this leg forward, and if that leg is tight going forward, then we know that the muscles that bring that leg back are tight. So the associated muscles as well, and this is called protracting or retracting the limb. If we retract the limb like this, we're just checking to see if there's any tightness in that range of motion, and then we would check the other leg to see if it is similar. If one leg is slightly different than the other in its range of motion or appears a little bit tighter, we can locate the muscles that are required to be worked on to loosen that leg up. When we check for restrictions in the hind limb, we're checking the muscles in the hind limb, we bring the leg forward. And if we're checking muscles ahead of the limb, we bring it back. And that way we know that the muscles that are responsible for bringing that limb forward are on the tight side. So each horse is slightly different in the range of motion they can move. As the thoroughbreds, they have a greater range of motion than a smaller pony would have. The important thing is to measure side to side. Is this leg have the same amount of range of motion as the leg on the other side? So in order to check the flexion of the neck in all different directions to make sure that there's no muscles that are tight, we just give them a little bit of a carrot here so that we can see. Now that one's a good one to tell whether the back muscles, how they're doing. And to check and make sure that the horse can actually collect and get in underneath himself in order to leave the barrels hard. One of our other assessment techniques that we use is to check to see that the point of the hip on both sides is equal off the ground. So you take a stick like this and just aim for the point of the stick, mark that area on the point of the stick where your level is, and then you take it around to the other side and see if it's the same. And so in doing so, you can tell if there's any imbalances in the pelvis area or in the hip area. Another test that we do just to check and see how supple the pelvis is feeling is we take a little pressure and push down on the pelvis to see if there's a little bit of a spring in it and that there's no restrictions on either side. It should be nice and supple and springy. Then the other thing we want to do to check and see if hip placement is good is we take a string, put it on the point of the wither up here and make sure it's the same point on either side and leave it there, and then you measure to the point of the hip. And you take that same string, leave your hand here, and measure to the other point of the hip, and making sure that it's the same distance. So in order to follow up on the back muscles and the belly muscles to see how they are feeling, we can do a small test to check the spinous promus reflex. And when we do that, the back arches nicely. Or we can take our hand up here and see if he arches underneath our pressure. And you do that on both sides in order to see any reactions in the muscle, and the horse should just kind of gently pull away from you. There's a natural amount of flex in the horse's body. We like to make sure that the back and the belly are as supple as the rest of the horse as well. So one of the tests we do for that is to just go along and see their reaction to make sure that they have good reaction all through the horse. Now that's their natural reaction. It's not a soreness response. And we do the same with the belly to see how the back raises. So we do that on both sides just to make sure that the muscles on the back and the belly do not have any restrictions. If there's no movement at all, we know that there's some restrictions that we need to locate and to fix. We then check the back and belly muscles to determine the health of your horse's back. The back is usually a hotbed of issues because of saddle fit. Proper saddle fit is key to mobility of the horse. The abdominal muscles flex and support the back and any load that it carries. Cinch placement also affects the range of motion, so it's very important to have the back and the belly muscles strong as well as a good fitting saddle. As a member of the Foundation of Integrated Therapies, we would like to commend the CPCA and their members for the commitment to the health and well-being of their equine athletes. We are proud to be supporting their Fitness to Compete program. So these have been some of the assessment tools that the students learn in Fit 1. They also learn how to help bring the body back into balance by certain massage techniques, effleurage, and starting to learn their energy work. So that's what's covered in Fit 1. If you would like more information, please go to fitforanimals.com and look up any classes or any instructors that would be more than happy to help you.